This Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call for the mid-morning session of Sri Caitanya Bhagavata. Vanchakalpatrupasha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Yeshwamati Priya Mataji, for reciting the Bhagavad Gita verses. And before moving on to the session of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, I would like to know who are all present on the call today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranams, our glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtidas and Ridasi. And thank you Mataji for your services. Thank you Yashwamati Mataji for the very wonderful recitation.
Hare Krishna Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. And thank you for your nice, wonderful classes. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandvat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Neetu from Baltimore.
Hare Krishna Neetu Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association every day. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
go ahead, Mataji, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago, Elgin, and thank you. All glories to your services, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Yashwamati Priya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. And thank you for all your wonderful services also. And thank you for reciting the Bhagavad Gita verses so wonderfully. Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna Anita Mataji, Danvat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev Ki Jai. Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call and giving us your association. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for
Hare
dedication.
Krishna, Anita. Hare Krishna, Anita Ramya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. And thank you so much for all your services. And thank you to Balavranda also to be present on our big call. Hari Bol. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Anita Mataji. I just poked my nose right in at 8:30. This is Sumi from Chennai. Jai Srila Prabhupada Mataji. I please accept my humble obeisances, my Dandat Pranams to all devotees here. Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna Sumi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I once again welcome all of you to this Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. So today we will be moving on to the next session, that is the Caitanya Bhagavat. But before moving on to the session, I would like to read Prabhupada's quote for today. And today is 8th July. Prabhupada has written a letter to Jadurani on July 8, 1967. Jadurani Mataji. I am your spiritual father and Krishna is your spiritual husband. A girl can never forget either her father or her husband. Very nice quote. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. And today's class will be given by His Grace Vamsivadana Prabhu. Prabhuji is there on the call?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, I can see, yeah. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today's class of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat will be given by His Grace Vamsivadana Prabhu on Antya Khanda, chapter 1, verses from 1st to 5th, means 1 to 5. Hare Krishna, Vamsivadana Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call and giving us your valuable time and association. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just a moment, Mataji. I'm just opening up Chaitanya Bhagavat. Okay. Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, you are very much audible.
Krishna. Sorry for the delay.
No issues, Prabhu.
Yeah. I'll quickly start with prayers and we'll begin. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Firstly, I would like to offer my obeisances to His Grace Adhikar Prabhuji and Her Grace Preeti Vilasini Mataji for giving me this opportunity to actually study Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. And I absolutely have no qualifications to actually speak on Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but I simply want to please the devotees because they have asked me to study Chaitanya Bhagavat and repeat whatever our acharyas have spoken. I simply want to please them, and also I'm doing this for my own purification. So I'm seeking blessings from all the devotees to kindly bless me so that whatever we are going to discuss in the next hour or so is meant for our own purification so that we can also at the same time please the Vaishnavas. I will just share my screen. I'm sorry, I don't have the PDF copy of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, but today we are starting the Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, and we will discuss based on the purport by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So the first verse goes like this. Avatirnau sakarunyau parichinnau sadishwarau Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanandau dvau bratarau bhaje. Translation. I worship the two brothers, Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda, who have descended in this world as the supreme controllers. They have appeared in covered forms as the embodiments of mercy. So, for the purport, we are directed to the purport in Adi Khanda, first chapter, verse 3. So, here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada writes, the word Parichinno indicates that the spiritual masters of the Swayambrupa, Krishna, the original form of the Supreme Lord, and his Swayam Prakash, his first expansion, are full of spiritual variegatedness. So we see in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructs Srila Sanatan Goswami in chapter 20, and there he gives very elaborate explanations of how Swayambru Krishna expands into multivarious, multi manifestations. And from Swayambru, his first expansion, are full of spiritual variegatedness. So we all understand that Krishna is Swayambroop and then he expands as Lord Balaram, and from whom all the different various manifestations of the Vishnu forms from the Chaturvyuha form, and then all the expansions are explained in detail in Chaitanya Charitamrita in the chapter 20. So here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada writes, Sri Gaura Nityananda, who's non-different from Krishna and Balaram, yet they have appeared in two forms as Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash. They are non-different. Chaitanya Charitamrita in another place also explains that Lord Balaram just, the only difference between Balaram and Krishna is just the color. Otherwise, the same personalities. But they still appeared as two, as Lord Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu. Bhratarau means the two brothers. Sriman Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu did not play the role of seminal brothers. It's very important for us to have this understanding that they did not appear like seminal brothers, in the role of seminal brothers. We see how Nityananda Prabhu appeared in Ekachakragram to Hadai Pandit. And then when the sannyasi came home, and Nityananda Prabhu was loved by everyone. Before the sannyasi came, he was loved by everyone in Ekachakragram. But then when the sannyasi came and he wanted Nityananda Prabhu to accompany him to go through all the holy places in India, Hadai Pandit with great grief, he sent Nityananda Prabhu with um, the sannyasi Thakur. It is explained that Hadai Pandit never ate or slept for 3 months, continuous months. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there he explains that who can understand the Nitya Siddhas? None of us can even imagine not eating or sleeping even for a day. What to speak of 3 months? They were not seminal brothers. Nityananda Prabhu and Sriman Mahaprabhu, who was born in Navadvip, they were not playing the role of seminal brothers. Then later, Nityananda Prabhu, when he travels with the Sannyasi Thakur through all the holy places, and then finally he is there in Mathura. I forgot exactly the place where he is, and he's meditating on when will Mahaprabhu actually start the Sankirtan movement. Probably Nityananda Bhatt. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But then Nityananda Prabhu is waiting for Mahaprabhu to start the Sankirtan movement. And as soon as he understands that Mahaprabhu has started the Sankirtan movement, Nityananda Prabhu begins his travel from Mathura to Bengal. And then he hides, we all have heard that pastime, he hides in the house of Nandanacharya. And then Mahaprabhu sends Srila Haridas Thakur and I forgot the other personality, but Mahaprabhu sends two of his intimate associates to find where Nityananda Prabhu is. And probably Mukunda. And they go and find everywhere and they come and tell Mahaprabhu that we have not found Nityananda Prabhu. And then Mahaprabhu comes along with them and then they both meet. And that's the first time that Nityananda Prabhu and Sriman Mahaprabhu actually meet is in Nandanacharya's house. In order to establish that there is no difference between the pastimes of Swayam Rupa and Swayam Prakash, the transcendentalists address them as brothers out of spiritual consideration. Out of spiritual consideration, they were brothers, not by birth, just for the sake of pastimes. Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu appeared at different places. We'll go to the next verse. नमस्त्रिकालसत्याय जगन्नाथ सुताय च Sabhrityaya Saputraya Sakalatraya Te Namaha. O my Lord, you are eternally existing in the past, present, and future. Yet, you are the son of Sri Jagannath Mishra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Brajendranadan Krishna. And Krishna, in his Vasudeva feature, when he's speaking the message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, he tells Vedaham samatitani vartamani cha Arjuna bhavishyami cha bhutani mam tu vedana kasyana. He says that I know the past, present, and future. So the Lord who knows the past, present, and future, he still appears as a son of Jagannath Mishra. I offer my repeated obeisances unto you along with your associates, your devotee servants, your sons, your Goswami disciples, or the processes of devotional service such as congregational chanting of the holy name and your concerts, who according to regulative principles refer to Vishnu Priya, who is Bhu Shakti, Lakshmi Priya, who is Sri Shakti, and Navadvip, which is Neela, Leela, or Durga. And according to devotional principles refer to the two Gadadhars, Narahari, Ramananda, Jagadananda, and others. So this verse again we will refer to the Adi Khanda in because this verse is again repeated in Antya Khanda. In Adi Khanda, this is verse 2, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada has given a very elaborate purport on this. In the second verse of the auspicious invocation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is addressed as follows. He is the absolute truth, existing in past, present, and future, and therefore Mahaprabhu is eternal. Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Krishna, is eternal. I offer my obeisances to such Gaurasundara, the son of Jagannath Mishra, along with his servants, sons, consorts, and associates. The word Jagannath Sutta is singular and so refers only to Sri Gaurasundara. Jagannath Mishra's other son, Sri Vishwarup or Shankararanya Swami, is not referred to herein, as Sri Vishwarup took sannyas in his childhood and had no disciples in the renounced order. Therefore, the later two adjectives of this verse, Sakalatraya and Saputraya, are not applicable to him. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is saying that the verse having these two adjectives refer only to Mahaprabhu and not to Vishwarup also. Jagannatha Sutta. Jagannatha Sutta refers only to Sri Gaurasundara, not to Vishwarup, because Vishwarup took sannyas and had no disciples in the renounced order. So Jagannatha Sutta means our Sri Gaurasundar. One may question how the word Saputraya can be applied to Sri Gaurasundar, because we never knew that Mahaprabhu had children. In answer to this, it is to be understood that the Lord's renunciate Goswami disciples are accepted as his sons, and his householder disciples are accepted as his servants. So when we actually go and take shelter from a guru, from a bona fide spiritual master, the guru eternally becomes our father, and we eternally become their son. That is the actual principle that we need to always embed within our heart, that our guru is our eternal father. From the time we take shelter of that guru within the heart. Srila Prabhupada said when he met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in Ulta Junction Road, when he was taken by his friend forcibly, Prabhupada never wanted to go. But as soon as he went and met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and heard from him, our Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charana Ravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he immediately knew. And he told us in one of his classes, I accepted my Guru Maharaj as my spiritual master within my heart from that day on. Srila Prabhupada never got formally initiated for 11 years. The meeting happened in 1922 and Srila Prabhupada formally took initiation in 1933. So the connection was made immediately. And that is why all our Gurujan and all our Acharyas stress that any aspiring sadhaka like us, like myself, we should always hear from very, very and sincere devotees who are practicing bhakti with such determination, and also with and also from our Gurujan who are speaking Shabda Brahman. Because when we actually hear from such personalities, and when somebody is very inquisitive and is very eager to know about Krishna, it is a perfect combination. This theme is explained throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. All the great personalities, they go and humble themselves. Vidura goes and humbles himself in front of Maitreya Rishi. Brahmaji is speaking to Sripad Narada Muni. So many examples are there even in Srimad Bhagavatam. Time and again, Srila Sanatan Goswami goes and humbles himself in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Even though everyone, even Mahaprabhu knows about the position of Sri Chaitanya, of Srila Sanatan Goswami. They all go and humble themselves in front of their superiors. And that's when that Shabda Brahman actually pierces the heart of the receptive listener. And immediately, that person, he or she, will know he is my Guru. Nobody has to tell. Guru means they are my eternal father and I am their son. The renunciate sannyasis who belong to the Achyuta Gotra are considered the Lord's sons. We all belong to Achyuta Gotra from the time we take initiation from our spiritual master. In the beginning of his Upadeshamrit, Srila Rupa Goswami has established his followers as three Dandi sannyasis. They are actually the Lord's own family members. Sri Achyuta Prabhu, the son of Advaita Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, is the founding father of the Achyuta Gotra. So the Achyuta Gotra terminology comes from Sri Achyuta Prabhu, the very dear son of Sri Advaita Acharya, whose pastimes we will hear in this Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. And he is therefore addressed as Achyutananda, the followers of the two Prabhus. Sri Nityananda and Sri Advaita are the servants of their Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. According to regulative principles, the concerts of Sri Gaura Narayan are Sri Vishnupriya, who is Bhu Shakti, Lakshmi Priya, who is Sri Shakti, and Sri Navadvip Dham, which is Neela, Leela, or Durga. So now, in order to understand this nicely, I'm completely relying on Srila Prabhupada's purport from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adi Leela, chapter 5, text 27-28. स्वरूप विग्रह कृष्णेर केवल द्विभुज नारायण रूपे से तनु चतुर्भुज शंख चक्र गदा पद्म महेश्वर्य माया श्रीभु नीला शक्ति यांड्र चरण सेवय. Translation: Krishna's own form has only two hands, but in the form of Lord Narayana, he has four hands. Lord Narayana holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower. And this form of Lord Narayana, who's full of great opulence, he has three energies Shri, Bhu, and Neela to serve his lotus feet. So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes various acharyas to understand this. In the Ramanuja and Madhva sects of Vaishnavism, there are extensive descriptions of Shri, Bhu, and Nila energies. In Bengal, the Nila energy is sometimes called Leela energy. These three energies are employed in the service of the four-handed Narayana in Vaikuntha, relating how three of the alvars, namely Bhuta Yogi, Sara Yogi, and Branta Yogi, saw Narayana in person when they took shelter at the house of a Brahmana in the village of Gehali. And Srila Prabhupada quotes verses from Sri Sampradaya. In the interest of time, I'm reading the translation. They saw the lotus eyed Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, mounted on Garuda, holding Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, to his chest. A description is given how he looked. He resembled a bluish rain cloud with flashing lightning. In two of his four hands, he had a conch shell and a disc, his arms stretched down to his knees. And all his beautiful limbs were smeared with sandalwood and decorated with glittering ornaments. He wore yellow clothes, and by either side stood his energies Bhumi and Nila. So both energies were there side by side to the form of Lord Narayana. Mahalakshmi, the supreme energy of the Lord, is experienced in different ways. She is divided into material and spiritual potencies. In both features, she acts as the willing, creative, and internal energy. This willing energy is divided into Shri, Bhu, and Nila. Quoting from the revealed scriptures in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita 4.6, Srila Madhvacharya has stated that the mother material nature, which is conceived as the illusory energy, Durga, has three divisions, Shri, Bhu, and Nila. She is the illusory energy for those who are weak in spiritual strength, because such energies are created energies of Lord Vishnu. So the same energy acts as our friend or as illusory energy Maya, based on how eager we are trying to follow the instructions of Guru and Gauranga. That is where spiritual strength comes from. We don't have any strength of our own. Lord Balaram, in the form of Nityananda Prabhu, and from Nityananda Prabhu to all the bona fide spiritual masters, this spiritual strength descends to one who really wants to please them. That is when spiritual strength actually descends. But as soon as we have our own agendas and own plans, there is no spiritual strength actually descending to that personality. We are immediately captured by Maya. Immediately. There is only two states, no in between. My spiritual master says there is no in between state. As soon as we have our independent plans, we are immediately captured by the illusory energy. Although each energy has no direct relationship with the unlimited, they are subordinate to the Lord, because the Lord is the master of all energies. It's Krishna's energy, material energy, and all the energies belong to Krishna. In the Bhagavad Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami states the Padma Purana refers to the eternally auspicious abode of Godhead, which is full of all opulences, including Shri, Bhu, and Nila energies. The Mahasamhita, which discusses the transcendental name and form of Godhead, also mentions Durga as the potency of the Supersoul in relationship with the living entities. The internal potency acts in relation with his personal affairs. All the personal leelas of Krishna and his expansions are the act of his internal potency. And the material potency manifests the three modes of material nature. Daivim prakritim ashritah. Mahatmanam stu mam partha daivim prakritim ashritah. All the Mahatmas, the pure devotees and the Mahabhagavad devotees, they are always under the internal potency of Srimati Radharani. Because only by the internal potencies of Krishna, or potency of Krishna, all the Leelas are manifested to please Krishna. Eh, Still on the hangover of hearing His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu yesterday, he was explaining that all the pure devotees of Krishna, especially the Vrajavasis, they're even in the pain of separation, they want to please only Krishna. The pain of separation is not for their, uh, they are not feeling pain to make them think that they are actually feeling having some ecstasy, or they want to have some ecstasy within their heart. No, their feeling of pain or pangs of separation is only for the feeling that they are not able to serve Krishna to make Krishna happy. And all these things are happening by the arrangement of internal potency. We hear from all our acharyas that all the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan is a manifestation of his internal potency. Our acharyas explained the demons cannot even enter into Vrindavan. All the demons and all the pastimes that we hear when Krishna kills all these demons, the demons have no chance for even to enter Vrindavan. But these are all arrangements of the internal potency of Krishna to enhance his pastimes. And of course, Krishna does many things in one pastime. But all these arrangements are manifested and arranged by his internal potency. That is why it is said, acts in relation with his personal affairs. And personal means it's Vraj. And the material potency manifests the three modes. As soon as we are away from this internal potency, we are immediately captured by the three modes of material nature. Immediately, we are captured. Once in one lecture, um, Srila Prabhupada said, I heard this from my spiritual master also in a class, that all the limbs of bhakti that we are actually practicing, be it chanting, hearing, Shravanam, Kirtanam, all the limbs of bhakti, Archanam, any limb of bhakti that we are practicing is actually making the practitioner transcendental. It's not that we are beyond the three modes forever, but at least for that particular moment that we are actually practicing the limbs of bhakti, the practitioner is transcendental. My spiritual master says it is just a matter for us to realize it. That may take many years for us to realize that fact. But the fact doesn't change because Krishna is transcendental. Anybody who is in touch with Krishna in any form of the process of bhakti becomes transcendental. But we often don't realize that because, at least I can speak to myself, I don't practice bhakti with full consciousness. Once I was hearing a Bhagavatam class in temple in Baltimore. Um, One respectable Mataji, she was saying, how Krishna conscious are we at every activity that we actually do? How conscious of Krishna are we at every activity we do? That actually determines our consciousness at which we are actually doing any particular limb of bhakti or any service for that matter. My spiritual master in one of his class, he mentions even while washing pots, even we may be doing something not so great according to the eyes of ordinary men, but even while washing pots, what is my consciousness? Am I washing pots just so that, okay, I need to get this service done? Or am I washing pots so that how wonderfully the devotees are taking so much pain to cook for the deities and for the devotees? Let me try to serve them in some way. I don't have the skills of cooking very palatable dishes for the senses of Krishna and the devotees, but at least let me be an instrument in washing the pots. This is just one insignificant example that my Guru Maharaj was quoting that what consciousness one can have even while washing pots. Quoting elsewhere from revealed scriptures, he states that Shri is the energy of Godhead that maintains. Now the definition comes. Shri is the energy of Godhead that maintains the cosmic manifestation. Bhu is the energy that creates the cosmic manifestation, and Neela or Durga is the energy that destroys the creation. All these energies act in relationship with the living beings, and thus they are together called Jiva Maya. So these are the definitions of, yeah. So now the distinction is coming. According to regulative principles, the concerts of Sri Gaura Narayan. So when we actually worship the Supreme Lord by following the process of regulative principles, the concerts are Vishnu Priya, who's Bhu Shakti, Lakshmi Priya, who's Sri Shakti, and Sri Navdeep Dham, which is Neela, Leela, and Durga. We saw. Now, according to devotional principles, the concerts of Sri Gaura Govind are Sri Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Gadadhar Das, Sri Narahari, Sri Jagadananda, Sri Vakreshwar, Sri Ramananda, Srila Rupa Goswami, and Srila Sanatan Goswami, and all the other Goswamis. So now Mahaprabhu, even when he in the Adi Leela in the fourth chapter, Mahaprabhu explains that he actually descended to propagate spontaneous devotional service. And only by this spontaneous devotional service, Srila Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami in the fourth chapter of the Adi Leela explains that only by this spontaneous bhakti that Krishna is attracted. Krishna means Krishna in Vrindavan is attracted. And in order to assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu comes always not alone. Sri Gaura Govinda is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he never comes alone. Krishna is never alone, anytime. So Mahaprabhu also didn't come alone. He came with his parshads. And some of his parshads are mentioned here. Sri Gadadhar Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani herself, who came to assist in his pastimes. Sri Gadadhar Das, very confidential devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada explains about him in the Adi Leela in chapter 10 and 11 of the Eternal Associates of Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Very, very confidential associate of both of them, Sri Gadadhar Das. And we will read about him in the Antya Leela or the Antya Khanda, about what kind of a personality he was. He will just run into the Kazi's house and demand him to chant the name of Hari. And lot to say about him, but the future speakers will actually glorify this transcendental personality. Sri Narahari Sarkar, who is also an eternal associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Jagadananda Pandit, whom we also heard about in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Even Sri Narahari Sarkar, we hear that he was such a close associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Mahaprabhu gave him the permission to chant his holy name, of Lord Gauranga's holy name, even during Rath Yatra in a separate place with the Sri Khanda Vasis. Sri Jagananda Pandit, who is Satyabhama herself, was also very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Vakreshwar Pandit, who was very well known to deliver Devananda Pandit and who used to dance in Kirtan for hours and hours together, was again very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Ramananda Rai. Mahaprabhu himself told personally that if I actually learned the mellows of pure devotional service to Krishna only from Sri Ramananda Rai. Mahaprabhu himself tells many times in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami and all the other Goswamis, they came to assist Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this spontaneous devotional service. And if we are aspiring sadhakas, we want to someday practice spontaneous bhakti, we have to follow the teachings of these. Only few are listed here. But our dear Srila Prabhupada, who has come, he often said we are actually Sri Rupanugas. We are Rupanugas. In Nectar of Instruction only he says, we are Rupanugas. Which means following the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami means we are actually on the path towards spontaneous bhakti. We are actually on the path towards spontaneous devotional service. Srila Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami has written in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela 7:14, one of them is Mahaprabhu and the other two are Prabhus. So only Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be addressed as Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Advaita Prabhu are the two Prabhus who serve the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll go to verse 3. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Lakshmi Kanta Jaya Jaya Nityananda Vallabha Ekanta. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, the beloved Lord of Lakshmi. All glories to Lord Chaitanya, who is most dear to Nityananda. Purport by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. The phrase Lakshmi Kanta Sri Krishna Chaitanya refers to Sri Chaitanya Dev, who is non-different from Swayambhu Brajendranandan Krishna and who is in the origin of all Vishnu Tattvas. Therefore, he is also worshipable by Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. Since he directs everyone's consciousness towards Krishna, he is renowned as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Chaitanya means consciousness because Mahaprabhu directs all of us towards Krishna, Vrajendranandan Krishna. He is called Sri Krishna Chaitanya. That is why this name is given to him during the sannyas ceremony. Why he is also called Lakshmi Kanta, right? That explanation is also given here because his Tad Ekatma manifestations are known as Narayana and Vishnu. Tad Ekatma also is explained in the same 20th chapter of Madhya Leela when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks to Srila Sanatan Goswami. What this Tad Ekatma means, same bodily features, transcendental emotions, and forms are slightly different in these manifestations. All these manifestations are coming from Krishna, but all these manifestations have some differences in bodily forms, transcendental emotions, sometimes even in the weapons, or even the weapon that is held in different hands, right? Especially in the Narayana and the Vishnu forms. Because these are originally coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is non-different from Krishna, therefore, his position as the husband of Lakshmi is not incompatible with his pastimes, uh, is not incompatible with his pastimes in the renounced order of life. So, he is also sometimes referred in relation to Mother Lakshmi. And because Mahaprabhu took sannyas, the manifestations are included in the Swayambhu. Therefore, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's position as the husband of Lakshmi is not incompatible with his pastimes in the renounced order of life. When he took renounced order, this is not compatible. Jaya Jaya Vaikunta Ishvara Nyasi Raja Jaya 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 Bhakta Samaja. All glories to the Lord of Vaikunta and King of Sannyasis. All glories to the devotees of the Lord. And coming to the last verse, जय जय पतित पावन गौरचंद्र दाना देह हृदय तोमार पद द्वंद्व. All glories to Lord Gaurachandra, the deliverer of the fallen. O Lord, please place your lotus feet within my heart. After this verse, in the purport, the following two lines are found in some editions. Jaya Jaya Shesha Rama Aja Bhavanata Jiva Pratikara Prabhu Shubha Drishti Pata. All glories to the Lord of Shesha, Lakshmi, Brahma, and Shiva. O Lord, please glance mercifully on the living entities. So we can pray like this to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says Sri Krishna Chaitanya is most magnanimous and supremely merciful. Therefore, the author begs at his lotus feet to be fully engaged in his service. And why Mahaprabhu? Did I miss a verse? Yeah. So the previous verse, I wanted to say that he's called the king of sannyasis. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in one bhajan, Kali Kukura, he's called Nyasi Kula Nayaka. He's the hero of all sannyasis. For all orders of life, Mahaprabhu is our example. That bhajan talks about all orders of life. Girijana Shikshaka, Nyasi Kula Nayaka, Madhava Radha Bhava Pura. That Mahaprabhu's he's the ultimate example for all ashrams, even for householders. He was the best householder. He was the greatest of sannyasis. That's why it's mentioned king of sannyasis. He laid the highest standard for a sannyasi. He laid the highest standard for an ideal grihastha. What a grihastha should do, how he should actually lead his life. And the last verse, he is addressed as the most magnanimous and supremely merciful. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj often mentions this, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wonderfully magnanimous and wonderfully merciful. And we will see that Srila Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami mentions this in the Antya Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Wanted to read these verses. So when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was talking like a madman in the Gambhira, in the later pastimes, only with Sri Swarup Damodar Goswami and Srila Ramananda Rai within the chambers of Gambhira, every day and night he was talking like a madman in separation of Krishna. These are the ending pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Each day and night, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would become deranged in this way and talk like a madman. Even Anantadev, who possesses thousands of mouths, cannot fully describe the ecstatic transformations that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu experienced in a single day. And Srila Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami, in his extreme humility, is saying, what can a poor creature like me describe of those transformations? I can only give only a hint of them, as if showing the moon through the branches of a tree. This description, however, will satisfy the mind and ears of anyone who hears it, and he will be able to understand these uncommon activities of deep ecstatic love for Krishna. Anyone who hears the Antilila pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Mahaprabhu's pastimes, yesterday, His Grace Gaurang Darshan Prabhuji was quoting a verse that was spoken by Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, that Mahaprabhu's is as he is grave, Krishna is also grave. But Mahaprabhu, when he comes into this world, his pastimes are so grave, it is as deep as millions of oceans. So grave, it's not so easy to penetrate into the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not possible for a conditioned soul like myself. not very straightforward to understand. Oh, Mahaprabhu did this, okay, fine. But there are so many lessons to learn from every single pastime, which are so deep that it can be understood only from the mouth of a pure devotee or a Mahabhagavat who has got the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's carrying Mahaprabhu in their heart every moment. Only from them we can understand the deep pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when we hear from such personalities, what is the effect? It will satisfy our mind and ears when we hear it, and we will be able to understand these uncommon activities of deep ecstatic love for Krishna that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani is experiencing. Otherwise, it is impossible for us to understand. Ecstatic love for Krishna is wonderfully deep. By personally tasting the glorious sweetness of that love, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally tasting it, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed us his extreme limit. This pastime is coming when Mahaprabhu is in the chamber and he suddenly, all the doors are shut in Gambhira, and suddenly he is hearing the flute sound of Krishna. And Swarup Damodar Goswami and Srila Ramananda Rai have left. It's very late in the night, and Govinda is standing. He's sitting on the entrance of the door. Door is closed. There are no doors or windows. And Mahaprabhu hears the flute sound of Krishna and he goes transcendently mad to see Krishna, to have the darshan of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, and now Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is explaining, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wonderfully merciful and wonderfully magnanimous. We have heard of no one else within this three world who is so merciful and charitable. Why he is merciful and charitable? Because if not for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, none of us would have access to the mood of Radha and Krishna. Not possible. For conditioned souls like us, my Guru Maharaj says, we cannot approach Radha and Krishna. Not possible. But the same Radha and Krishna come in one form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he is coming along with his associates, teaching us how to become devotees, how to deal our everyday as devotees. And also, at the same time, he is experiencing Radha Bhav in separation of Krishna, and he's showing the actual love between Radha and Krishna in a way that we can understand, and he is also giving at the same time ecstatic love for Krishna. That is the reason why Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj so many times he will say Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is wonderfully magnanimous and wonderfully merciful. O people of the world, worship the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all respects. Sarva bhave bhaja loka Chaitanya charana yaha haite paibe Krishna premamrita dhana. What is the effect of worshipping Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? In all respects, Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami is saying. In this way, we will achieve the nectarian treasure of ecstatic love for Krishna. When will that day be ours? By the mercy of Guru and Gauranga. If not for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we will not even be able to understand the pastimes of Krishna. What to speak of Radha and Krishna? Thus, I have described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic transformation of becoming like a tortoise. In that ecstasy, he talked and acted like a madman. And that is why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is termed as most wonderfully magnanimous and supremely merciful. Supremely merciful Mahaprabhu is. And one more favorite, uh, the word that actually caught my attention in this verse is Patita Pavan. Yes, Mahaprabhu is magnanimous and merciful, but how do we qualify ourselves to actually gain access to that mercy? Patita Pavan. Mahaprabhu is called Patita Pavan. And I would like to read, I'm sorry, I'm opening too much of Veda base because I'm a conditioned soul. I would like to simply repeat the words of our acharyas, and I do not have all the verses or all in my memory. This was quoted by Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami when they actually met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. So when Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my Guru Maharaj says Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami were already very exalted. Even though they were working as ministers in the Muslim invasion, they were always absorbed in Krishna consciousness. Secretly. Secretly, they were absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And such personalities, when they meet Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what they have got to say. Something for us to always meditate on. पतित पावन हेतु तुम्हारा अवतार Amabai jagate patita nahiyar. The two brothers submitted, Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. It is explained that when Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami were even ministers in the kingdom, they were so extremely learned, extremely beautiful in bodily features. But when somebody comes to their kingdom, they will bow down to them. And such personalities, when they meet the Supreme Lord, they are saying there is nobody fallen than us. And we will see why they are actually telling like this. Jagai madai dui karile udhar, taha udarite shama nahila tomar. You have delivered the two brothers Jagai and Madai, but to deliver them, you did not have to exert yourself very much. Why? ब्राह्मण जाति तार नवद्वीपे घर नीच सेव नाही करे नहे नीचे कूर पर. The brothers Jaga and Madai belonged to the Brahmana caste and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvip. They never served low class persons nor were they instruments to abominable activities. This is the reason that Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami are giving. Sabe kadosha tara haya papachar paparashi dahe nama basaye tomar. Jaga and Madai had but one fault. What is that? They did not serve low class people, but they were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection, Nama Baseya, Thomar. Simply by chanting Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. We are chanting the Panchatattva mantra every day. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. Jagai Madai haite koti koti guna Adama patita papi amidu jana. We too are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madai. We are more degraded and fallen and sinful than they. Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami are giving reasons why they are fallen. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of meat eaters. Because we always associate with such people, we are inimical towards the cows and brahmanas. Something for us to always ponder upon that living in this world, we are actually like meat eaters, serving meat eaters in this world. The two brothers, Sakar Malik and Dhabir Kas, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they were now bound by the neck and hands and been thrown into the ditch filled with abominable stool like objects of material and sense enjoyment. My Guru Maharaj, he quotes Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that sense enjoyment is stool. Whether it is dry stool or it's wet stool, it's stool. It's abominable. If we want to enjoy our senses for our own sense gratification, it is stool. So the two brothers are humbling themselves. We don't have the time to go through the wonderful purports that Srila Prabhupada writes, but I just wanted to quote these verses to bring us some inspiration for us to actually feel not qualified for bhakti. No one within the three worlds is sufficiently powerful to deliver us. The Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatana Goswami are saying, you are the only savior to the fallen souls. Therefore, there is no one but you. आमा उदारिया यदि देखाओ निज बल पतित पावन नाम तबे से सफल. If you simply deliver us by your transcendental strength, then certainly your name will be known as Patita Pavan, the savior of the fallen souls. This is why I want to read these verses, because in order to even come to the stage of Patita Pavan, we have to follow in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami of actually realizing that we are not qualified for even bhakti. All our Gurujan, all our Acharyas, time and again remind us to have this or imbibe this mood of not being qualified for what we are actually getting. I many times don't realize this because so many things are given so easily to us, right? The facilities in the temple, the services that we render in the temple or to the devotees, everything, the classes, the Zoom classes, the recorded classes of our spiritual master Srila Prabhupada, everything is in our fingertips. We are not made to earn anything. Everything has been given to us so easily. So I don't feel that I have to be grateful for all the things that are being given to us, to given to me. The moment we feel grateful to anything that has been given to us in, in bhakti by all our spiritual superiors, then we are immediately receptive to the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is when he's called Patita Pavan. And that is what Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami are exhibiting time and again. This is just the beginning when they meet Mahaprabhu for the first time. But time and again, when we see through the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, every single time they will exhibit this. Every single time. Srila Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami, every single time, every chapter, Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Yara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. Every single time, all our acharyas and all our spiritual masters, they exhibit this quality of gratitude, which will lead to humility, which will lead to the access of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. I will pause here. It's 12. I'm extremely grateful to His Grace Adhika Prabhu and Her Grace Preeti Vilasini Mataji to engage me in this service to study the first 5 verses of Antya Khanda of Chaitanya Bhagavat and study Srila Prabhupada's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And by this, I was able to read the translations and purports. And I am extremely grateful to all the devotees for patiently being along with me while studying these from the purports and patiently hearing. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Vamsivadana Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for a very nice, wonderful class. And it was very instructive and very nicely explained about the magnanimous quality of the Lord and how He is Patita Pavan. You just explained how we have to feel about the service, what we are getting. So when we, yes, of course, as you said, whatever we are getting now, it's only means like it's easily available, right? It's not like when Prabhupada means like Prabhupada has showered his mercy, so that's why everything is easily available. It's not like on those days. And now having all these technical facilities, everything is available at one place, and we are very thankful to this techniques also, but still it's all the mercy of the Lord and Krishna, means like Guru and Gauranga, that we are getting in these things. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this. Yeah, of course, sometimes you think, yeah, I got this service. Wow, very nice. See, so that thing also is there, right? So that one small joy is there, that we are claiming that, okay, I've got this service. I'm so happy about that. But we'll have to think that I'm not qualified for this service, but it's only because of the mercy of Guru and Gauranga I have got this service. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for that, making to understand that. And dear devotees, any questions or realizations, please go ahead. Yes, Prahlad and Prabhu.
Then Pranam Mataji, and then Pranam to Vamsivadana Das Prabhuji and all the devotees. I just had one reflection listening to this beautiful discourse. It says, Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Savindo Bhavanti Rutkana Rasayana Katha. Tajjoshna Dasu Upvartani Shraddha Ratir Bhakti Ranupsa. So the whole discourse was so enlightening, and I really appreciate Prabhuji. Then Pranam Hariva.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your blessings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah, sorry. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very, very beautiful class, deep realizations, very nicely connected to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, bringing out the magnanimous quality of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and going through the verses with purport in so much detail. It was such an enriching class. Thank you so much for coming on the call, giving us your association. And many years back when I asked you, you said you wouldn't be speaking much on Chaitanya Leela, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Chaitanya Bhagavat, but now I request you, Prabhu, whenever you have time, I know you'll be working at this time, but whenever possible, please do come to our forum and give you a wonderful association. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Any devotees, any realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Nice to hear from you after a long time. As Mataji said, please come back, and congratulations, Prabhuji, for your second initiation. Very happy for you and Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for the prayers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So, I don't know.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम। श्रील प्रभुपाद, श्रील गुरुदेव, श्री राधा गोपीनाथ की जय। वेरी वेरी इंस्पायरिंग क्लास प्रभु जी। हम जब एक दिन आपके घर बाल्टीमोर आए थे तो देखा था कि आपकी साधना बहुत स्ट्रांग है, लाइक अ सीनियर ब्रह्मचारी। जब वाणी में टच टू टच हार्ट कब होती है? जब हमारी साधना बहुत स्ट्रांग होती है। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम। सब ब्रह्मचारी आपके घर रुकते हैं, आप बहुत सिंसियरली सेवा करते हो उनकी, और डीटीज भी बहुत अच्छे आपके घर में। प्रभु बहुत इंस्पायरिंग क्लास था। प्लीज कम रेगुलरली बाय एज यूजुअल, इन्फॉर्म बाय एच.जी. प्रीति विलासिनी माता जी। जय जय नित्यानंद, जय जय गौरांगा। बहुत ही हृदय से आपने छू जाने का वाला क्लास आज नित्यानंदा और चैतन्य लीला सुनाई प्रभु जी। कोटि कोटि दंडवत प्रणाम। प्लीज कम फॉर सीसी भागवतम ऑल्सो। Hari Hari Gauranga. Congratulations to you and Brinda Kumari. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam. I have seen you are still from 8-9 years you are doing japa morning 5 o'clock so attentively like senior brahmacharis doing japa. Hari Hari Gauranga. Thank you, beta. Koti Koti Danvat Pranam to your sincere seva.
Mataji, whatever you have seen, it is not me. It is all hypocrisy outside. I just pretend to be a devotee, but it is only by Guru and Gauranga's mercy, whatever I spoke. Just like Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that whatever words that are spoken by him are the mercy potency of his spiritual masters. And as soon as that mercy stops, the mercy is gone. He cannot speak anymore. So similarly, whatever I spoke is all and all by the mercy of my spiritual masters. I don't have any strength. As soon as their mercy is gone, I cannot speak. So whatever you heard that you might have inspired anybody, it is only by their mercy. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari Gauranga, true Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gopinath ki jai. Danvat.
Very, very well. Thank you so much, dear Brinda Gopika Mataji, for pouring so much love. And we have chat. Yeah, chat, we have glorifications for the class, Prabhuji, from Yashomati Priya Mataji, and Pooja Soni Mataji, and Brinda Gopika Mataji. Of course, she poured her blessings also now. And I don't find any more hand raised, Prabhuji. And yeah, as everyone requested, we wanted association in future for both Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Bhagavat class. Whenever you are free, please come and give us your association, Prabhu. And with your permission, we don't have any questions or hand raised. So with your permission, can we end the call here, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, let's pay our obeisances to Prabhuji. Vancha kalpatrupasya kripa sindhu peyavacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Bhaktivedanta Prabhuji ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.